Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I'm Miss Debbie.
And I am Miss Lucy Rose.
We are here to do virtual story time.
Yes.
Today, with you. Our theme is
coziness. Just getting cozy with your blankets and your warm home. And we're going to read some books and do some crafts that kind of go with that theme today.
So, without further ado, we are gonna sing our welcome song, okay? And maybe you can sing it with us. It's got some motions you can do, okay? It goes like this. If you're ready for a story, clap your hands. If you're ready for a story, clap your hands. If you're ready for a story, if you're ready for a story, if you're ready for a story, clap your hands. If you're ready for a story, stomp your feet. If you're ready for a story, stomp your feet. If you're ready for a story, if you're ready for a story, if you're ready for a story, stomp your feet. And you can't see our feet, but they were stomping. I'm sorry, I say that every time. I can't help it.
No.
All right.
It needs to be said.
It needs to be said. So I hope you stomped your feet. And last but not least, if you're ready for a story, nod your head. Yes, please. If you're ready for a story, nod your head.
Yes, please.
If you're ready for a story, if you're ready for a story, if you're ready for a story, nod your head. Yes, please. And I hope you're nodding your head. Here we go.
Hi, everybody. I wanted to try something a little bit different by putting the book down flat on the table so you can see a little less of my face and a little more of the pictures. Because I feel like before, when I was holding the books up, it was just hard to see the pictures on camera. And I love the pictures of books. So if you're like me, this way you'll be able to see them a lot better. This is one of my favorite books. I chose it for our theme, warm and cozy, because even though most of this book takes place outside in a very thick snowstorm, it feels really nice to read this cold adventure when you yourself are warm and cozy inside. This book is called Brave Irene by William Steig. Mrs. Bobbin, the dressmaker, was tired and had a bad headache, but she still managed to sew the last stitches in the gown she was making. "It is the most beautiful dress in the whole world," said her daughter, Irene. "The Duchess will love it." "It is nice," her mother admitted, "but Dumpling, it's for tonight's ball and I don't have the strength to bring it. I feel sick." "Poor Mama," said Irene. "I can get it there." "No, Cupcake, I can't let you," said Mrs. Bobbin. "Such a huge package, and it's such a long way to the palace. Besides, it's starting to snow." "But I love snow," Irene insisted. She coaxed her mother into bed, covered her with 2 quilts, and added a blanket for her feet. Then she fixed her some tea with lemon and honey and put more wood in the stove. With great care, Irene took the splendid gown from the dummy and packed it in a big box with plenty of tissue paper. "Dress warmly, Pudding," her mother called in a weak voice. "And don't forget to button up. It's cold out there and windy." Irene put on her fleece-lined boots, her red hat and muffler, her heavy coat, and her mittens. She kissed her mother's hot forehead 6 times, and then once again made sure she was tucked in snugly, and slipped out with the big box, shutting the door firmly behind her. It really was cold outside. Very cold. The wind whirled the falling snowflakes about, this way, that way, and into Irene's squinting face. She set out on the uphill path to Farmer Bennett's sheep pasture. By the time she got there, The snow was up to her ankles, and the wind was worse. It hurried her along and made her stumble. Irene resented this. The box was problem enough. "Easy does it," she cautioned the wind, leaning back hard against it. By the middle of the pasture, the flakes were falling thicker. Now the wind drove Irene along so rudely she had to hop, skip, and go helter-skeltering over the knobby ground. Cold snow sifted into her boots and chilled her feet. She pushed out her lip and hurried on. This was an important errand. When she reached Apple Road, the wind decided to put on a show. It ripped branches from the trees and flung them about, swept up and scattered the falling snow, got in front of Irene to keep her from moving ahead. Irene turned around and pressed on backwards. "Go home," the wind squalled. "Irene, go home." "I will do no such thing," she snapped. "No such thing, you wicked wind." "Go home," the wind yodeled. "Go home," it shrieked. "Or else." For a short second, Irene wondered if she shouldn't heed the wind's warning. But no, this gown had to get to the Duchess. The wind wrestled her for the package. It walloped it, twisted it, shook it, snatched at it. But Irene wouldn't yield. "It's my mother's work," she screamed. Then, oh, woe. The box was wrenched from her mittened grasp and sent bumbling along in the snow. Irene went after it. She pounced and took hold, but the ill-tempered wind ripped the box open. The ball gown flounced out and went waltzing through the powdered air with tissue paper attendants. Irene clung to the empty box and watched the beautiful gown disappear. How could anything so terribly wrong be allowed to happen? Tears froze on her lashes. Her dear mother's hard work, all those days of measuring and cutting and pinning and stitching, for this and the poor Duchess. Irene decided she would have to trudge on with just the box and explain everything in person. She went shuffling through the snow. Would her mother understand, she wondered, that it was the wind's fault, not hers? Would the Duchess be angry? The wind was howling like a wild animal. Suddenly, Irene stepped in a hole and fell over with a twisted ankle. She blamed it on the wind. "Keep quiet," she scolded. "You've done enough damage already. You spoiled everything. Everything." The wind swallowed up her words. She sat in the snow in great pain, afraid she wouldn't be able to go on. But she managed to get back on her feet and start moving. It hurt. Home, where she longed to be, where she and her mother could be warm together, was far behind. It's got to be closer to the palace, she thought. But where any place was in all this snow, she couldn't be sure. She plowed on, dragging furrows with her sore foot. The short winter day was almost done. Am I still going the right way, she wondered. There was no one around to advise her. Whoever else was in this snow-covered world was far, far away and safe indoors, even the animals in their burrows. She went plodding on. Soon, night took over. She knew in the dark that the muffled snow was still falling. She could feel it. She was cold and alone in the middle of nowhere. Irene was lost. She had to keep moving. She was hoping she'd come to a house, any house at all, and be taken in. She badly needed to be in someone's arms. The snow was above her knees now. She shoved her way through it, clutching the empty box. She was asking how long a small person could keep this struggle up. when she realized it was getting lighter. There was a soft glow coming from somewhere below her. She waded toward this glow and soon was gazing down a long slope at a brightly lit mansion. It had to be the palace. Irene pushed forward with all her strength and swoosh, whoop, she plunged downward and was buried. She had fallen off a little cliff. Only her hat and the box in her hands stuck out above the snow. Even if she could call for help, no one would hear her. Her body shook. Her teeth chattered. Why not freeze to death, she thought, and let all these troubles end? Why not? She was already buried. And never see her mother's face again. Her good mother who smelled like fresh baked bread. In an explosion of fury, she flung her body about to free herself and was finally able to climb up on her knees and look around. How to get down to that glittering palace? As soon as she raised the question, she had the answer. She laid the box down and climbed aboard, but it pressed into the snow and stuck. She tried again, and this time, instead of climbing on, she leaped. The box shot forward like a sled. The wind raced after Irene, but couldn't keep up. In a moment, she would be with people again, inside where it was warm. The sled slowed and jerked to a stop on paving stones. The time had come to break the bad news to the Duchess. With the empty box clasped to her chest, Irene strode nervously toward the palace. But when her feet stopped moving and her mouth fell open, she stared. Maybe this was impossible, yet there it was, a little way off and over to the right, hugging the trunk of a tree, the beautiful ball gown. The wind was holding it there. "Mama!" Irene shouted. "Mama, I found it." She managed somehow, despite the wind's meddling, to get the gown off the tree and back in its box. And in another moment she was at the door of the palace. She knocked twice with a big brass knocker. The door opened and she burst in. She was welcomed by cheering servants and a delirious Duchess. They couldn't believe she had come over the mountain in such a storm, all by herself. She had to tell the story in every detail, and she did. Then she asked to be taken right back to her sick mother. But it was out of the question, they said. The road that ran around the mountain wouldn't be cleared until morning. "Don't fret, child," said the Duchess. "Your mother is surely sleeping now. We'll get you there first thing tomorrow." Irene was given a good dinner as she sat by the fire, the moisture steaming off her clothes. The Duchess, meanwhile, got into her freshly ironed gown before the guests began arriving in their sleighs. What a wonderful ball it was. The Duchess in her new gown was like a bright star in the sky. Irene, in her ordinary dress, was radiant. She was swept up into dances by handsome aristocrats who kept her feet off the floor to spare her ankle. Her mother would enjoy hearing all about it. Early the next morning, when snow had long since ceased falling, Mrs. Bobbin woke from a good night's sleep, feeling much improved. She hurried about and got a fire going in the cold stove. Then she went in to look in on Irene. But Irene's bed was empty. She ran to the window and gazed at the white landscape. No one out there. Snow powder fell from the branch of a tree. "Where is my child?" Mrs. Bobbin cried. She whipped on her coat to go out and find her. When she pulled the door open, a wall of drift faced her. But peering over it, she could see a horse-drawn sleigh hastening up the path. And seated on the sleigh between two large footmen was Irene herself, asleep, but smiling. Would you like to hear the rest? Well, there was a bearded doctor in the back of the sleigh, and the Duchess had sent Irene's mother a ginger cake with white icing, some oranges and a pineapple, and spice candy of many flavors, along with a note saying how much she cherished her gown and what a brave and loving person Irene was, which of course Mrs. Bobbin knew better than the Duchess. The end. Hello, welcome back to Virtual Storytime craft portion. Right now we are going to make a toilet paper roll penguin. Oh, we have some work to do on this penguin. For this craft, you will need a toilet paper roll. And maybe some of you will remember a couple weeks ago, we actually did this same craft with a wine cork. So that could work too. But I thought a toilet paper roll would be easier to find in your house. You need a pair of scissors, some glue, a black marker, or something that you can paint your toilet paper roll black with. You could use paint or crayons or whatever gets your toilet paper colored like a penguin. I have some googly eyes, but again, if you don't have those, you can cut some eyes out of paper. And then I'm using some colors of felt to do the beak and the feet and the scarf for my penguin. You do not have to use felt. You can use craft foam, you can use paper, whatever you have at home. So, like I said, make your toilet paper roll black. I just used this marker and I went like this all the way all over until the whole thing was black. Then I took an orange color for the beak and I drew a small triangle on my orange felt like this. Then I cut out my triangle. This is going to be my beak for my penguin. And once I cut it out, I picked a spot kind of high up on my penguin. That's where I'm going to put it because I think that looks good. And I will glue it down with a little dot of glue. Let's see. Yay! Alrighty. There's my beak. Now I want to put my eyeballs. A little dot of glue on my eyeball, and then I'm just putting it right above my beak. Woohoo! Yay! There's his face. Okay, so my penguin already has a face. Hello, penguin. Welcome to the world. All right. Oh no. There goes an eyeball. All right. I got too excited. Oh no. All right. I think I need to stop touching his eyeballs so they stop falling off. Okay. Moving on. So now I'm going to do his white stomach. So with my marker again, I'm going to draw an oval shape, kind of a roundish shape like that. And I'm going to cut it out. Ta-da! Now I'm going to put a little bit of glue, a couple dots here and there, so it sticks really good. And I'm going to put it underneath its orange beak. There it is. So cute. Okay, I feel like you can start to tell that it's a penguin now. All right, now feet. Every penguin needs 2 yellow flippers. So for that, I'm going to make 2 little triangles, kind of like the ones that I did for the beak. And I will cut those out as well. All right, now I have my 2 little flippers. I'm gonna glue them underneath his white belly. Perfect. Hey. Okay, you are very cute. All right. Now, the very last step is a scarf. Because every penguin needs a warm, cozy scarf to keep them warm. All right, so for the scarf, ooh, my marker's kind of drying out, but all you need to do is cut a long strip of any color fabric or paper that you want. So see how mine is like a long rectangle? That's what you're gonna cut out. It needs to be long enough to tie around your penguin's neck. I chose this darkish blue-green color because I just saw it and I just liked it. I thought it was pretty and I thought my penguin would look really good in it. All right, so now I have my scarf and I'm just going to make some cuts at the end to make it look like the scarf is fringed at the end, to make it look even more realistic. Because this is a very realistic toilet paper roll penguin. All right, I just stretched it out to make it a little bit longer. All right, so now that I have my scarf, I'm just going to tie it around the neck of my dear little penguin. Now the only thing left to do, there's a scarf. It's so cute. Look at my penguin. Okay, sorry. This is a very cute penguin. Okay, he's all done. There he is. Now the only thing left to do is name my penguin. Maybe you can come into the library and tell me what my adorable little penguin's name should be. All right, thanks.
All right, hey friends, I thought that today we could do 2 of my favorite little songs / finger plays that we like to do in story time sometimes. The first one involves 2 little blackbirds. I will introduce you to them. The first one, his name is Jack, and the other one's name is Jill. And it's a little rhyme. It goes like this. And if you want to do it with me, you can put your fingers up like this and pretend like you've got birds on your fingers, okay? It goes, 2 little blackbirds sitting on a hill. One named Jack and one named Jill. Fly away, Jack. Fly away, Jill. Come back, Jack. Come back, Jill. Should we do it again? All right, here we go. 2 little blackbirds sitting on a hill. One named Jack and one named Jill. Fly away, Jack. Fly away, Jill. Come back, Jack. Come back, Jill. All right, nice work. All right, my other song that I thought we could do, I like to have puppets for my songs, so I thought we'd do this one. This is my little friend, the spider, the itsy bitsy spider. Maybe you can see it. This is a very nice spider. I don't want you to be alarmed. Spiders can seem kind of scary sometimes, but this is a very nice, soft, fuzzy, cozy spider. And the song that we're gonna sing, you might know already. It's called The Itsy Bitsy Spider, because this is pretty small. It goes like this. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. Shall we do it one more time? All right, you can do, since you might not have a spider puppet, is you can make your fingers into little spiders like this, and you can pretend like there's little legs, right? But I'm gonna go back to the puppet because it's kind of fun to have a puppet. Here we go. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. All right, good job. Say goodbye to the spider. He's waving with his little leg. I am going to read you a story today, and the story is called Blanket, Journey to Extreme Coziness. Does that sound pretty good to you? It sounds really good to me. The author's name is Lauren Brantz, and she did the words and the pictures. So here we go. Blanket. Blanket, Journey to Extreme Coziness by Lauren Brantz. All right. It says, oh, hello. I didn't see you there. I was too busy being warm and cozy inside my fuzziest blanket. I call this a blanket cocoon. You might be wondering, what is a blanket cocoon? Well, let me tell you. A cocoon is a protective covering. Some insects make cocoons to have a safe place to become their grown-up selves in. Look over there. That caterpillar is about to make a cocoon. Shh, be very quiet. Watch as the caterpillar hangs from that branch. It's making a warm and cozy cocoon. What do you think the caterpillar is doing now? Hello, caterpillar, what's going on in there? I hope everything is okay. Oh, thank goodness, the caterpillar is okay. And now it can fly. Wow, nature is amazing. Would you like to be inside a blanket cocoon, just like me? This way to extreme coziness. To make your very own snuggly, cuddly blanket cocoon, follow these easy steps. Step 1, find your most favorite blanket. Step 2, lay it out on the floor. Step 3, lie down on the very edge of it. And step 4, now roll. Congratulations! You are inside a warm and cozy blanket cocoon. Now that you're here, there are lots of things you can do. You can snuggle and wiggle and feel safe and warm. You can close your eyes. And wow, look at me. I'm soaring through space and running through the rainforest. Now I'm inside an igloo covered in snow, and under the deep blue sea. Now I'm I'm up. What'd I miss? What have you been doing inside your cocoon? Are you cozy and comfy? Are you wiggly and giggly? Are you as snug as a bug? Uh-oh. What is going to happen when we leave our blanket cocoons? Not knowing what will happen is kind of scary. Not knowing what will happen is also kind of exciting. I wonder what I'll become. I wonder what you'll become. We could be anything. Let's see. I'm a blanket fly. Yay! Not a butterfly, a blanket fly. What did you become? A blanket fly too? Or a blanket cat? Or a blanket bunny? Or the best thing of all, the amazing you? The end. All right, so since we just had a story about blankets, I thought I might teach you a little rhyme about a blanket, okay? So here's how it goes. And if you want to say it with me, you can, or you can just listen and be amazed. It goes like this. I once had a blanket. It was fluffy and new. I once had a blanket, and its color was blue. It's not quite a blanket, but blue scarf, right? I once had a blanket, the prettiest I'd seen. I once had a blanket, and that blanket was green, right? There's another green scarf. I once had a blanket, soft as a pillow. I once had a blanket, and that blanket was, what do you think? Yellow. It was yellow. All right, one more. I once had a blanket at the foot of my bed. I once had a blanket, and its color was, can you guess? Red. It was a red blanket. There you go. That's my blanket rhyme. All right. That is the end of our story time for today. We hope you had fun. I know we did.
I definitely had fun.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes. Before we go, we're going to sing our goodbye song, and it goes like this. It has a very easy motions. It's just a lot of waving, right? So here's how it goes.
Oh, wait, Miss Debbie, I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
Can we do different kinds of waving?
You do whatever kind of waving you would like to do. I only know two kinds of waving.
Well, I'll think of some.
Okay.
I think I'm going to start with the princess wave.
That's the one I know. Okay.
Let's do that
first. Okay, here we go. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. It's time to say goodbye.
Regular wave.
Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. It's time to say goodbye.
Okay, I thought of one more.
Okay, one more time. I don't know what it is though.
Robot wave.
Oh. Sorry. Ready? Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. It's time to say goodbye.